you doing today? I hope that you're doing amazing and fantastic and wonderful. We are in the Burr months. Guys, I am wearing like a short sleeve sweater right now and then like blue pants to go with it. I am in love with this outfit. But we're in the Burr months, which means that my TBR is going to be a very, very cozy, witchy, fall-y kind of vibes that I'm really, really stoked about. So I've got 10 books that I plan on reading hopefully this month in September, but just in general over the next 4 Burr months. The very first one that I'm going to be reading is The Time for Murder Is Meow, which I'll pop right over here. It's the only book that I don't own physically. I have it on Kindle because this is the Cozy Escape Book Club pick for the month of September. And so I read that on Kindle so that I can highlight characters' names and everything like that. But I am super, super excited about this book. So the synopsis is, when her TV series is canceled, struggling actress Shel McMillan considers it a blessing in disguise. A beloved aunt who recently died left her a pet shop in her will and sees it as the perfect chance to walk away from Hollywood and make a fresh start in a sleepy town of Fox Hollow. I love the name Fox Hollow as a town. That is so flipping cute. All right, I've ut a whole bunch over here and Cleo has knocked a lot of them down. So let's just go with the very first one, Catch Me If You Candy. Let's see if it'll actually focus on it. There we go. This is book 17 of the Bake Shop mystery series by Ellie Alexander. And I am so flipping excited about this book. I am, I think, like 3 or 4 chapters in already, and we are in Ashland in like during Halloween. They have a huge Halloween festival and I am so excited. I'm also really excited because this October, Ellie is hosting a cozy mystery sort of festival in Ashland, and I'm going. I am going to Ashland for the very first time. I'm going to be meeting Ellie Alexander for the very first time. I'm going to be meeting TJ. I'm going to be meeting Spencer from Intentionally Bookish for the very first time. Guys, being in Oklahoma sucks sometimes because ain't nobody here, all right? But I am so excited. So this is like a prequel of before I go to Ashland next month. I'm so excited. So we've got Catch Me If You Candy. Another book that I am super stoked about is Big Little Spells. This is book 2, and this is by Hazel Beck. I can't really tell you what it is about because I don't want to, like, it starts off, I'm already like 35 pages into it. It starts off where book 1 left off, but magical, practical magical type vibes. Like, I mean, it is so good. I love it. Is her magic a threat to which kind, or is she simply powerful enough to save the world? It is so, so good. I love Hazel Beck's writing. It's just fantastic. Another book that I am super excited to read is Scaredy Cat by Sophie Ryan, aka Sophie Kelly, and this is the Second Chance Cat mystery series. You guys know how much I love Elvis, and it's after a long, cold, and snowy winter. So it's still cold in this book, and I will say that I am missing myself some Elvis. I mean, the very first sentence is Elvis had left the building, or to be more specific, our apartment. Like, I needed some of this in my life. So I've got Scaredy Cat. Just love that. I love that so much. Okay, the next book I have is actually called Bloodlight. This is an anthology it's a collection of entertaining tales that puts the fun back into dark fiction with ironic twists and tongue-in-cheek wit to temper the jagged edge. So it has some of my favorite authors, Charlene Harris, Jim Butcher, Sherilyn Kenyon, Kelly Armstrong, and more. This is for the Genre Gurus book club that I host here at my house with my friends. And so this is this month's theme was horror, much to Rachel's love. So I'm very excited to dive deeper into this. I will say I was kind of bummed that it does not come in audiobook because, as you guys know, this year is my audiobook year. But I am really, really excited to read. Warning, this anthology contains works of fiction that are gruesome, disturbing, horrifying, and drop dead hilarious. So I'm excited about that. It's gonna be good. I started listening to The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston today, actually, and I am really enjoying it. One of my absolute favorite movies of all time is The Lake House, where this has the sort of the same kind of vibe. Her aunt has recently passed away and has left her apartment, but the apartment is magical. It takes you back and forward 7 years in time. And it's a romance. It's very, very cool premise, and I'm like 2 hours into this book already today, and I'm pretty, like, I just started it today. So very excited about that. Another cozy that I am super excited about picking up is Wined and Died in New Orleans, a vintage cookbook mystery. I recently picked this up in at Gardner's, my favorite used bookstore. And this is by Ellie Byron, and it says, it's hurricane season in New Orleans, and vintage cookbook fan Ricky James Diaz is trying to shelve her weather-related fears and focus on her business, Miss V's vintage cookbook and kitchenware shop, housed in the magnificent Bon V culinary house museum. Ricky wonders if her secret mentor has bottled up and fears what happens if she uncorks it. I know that a lot of my friends at the Cozy Engagement group on Instagram absolutely love Ellen Byron, and I don't know if I've ever read any of her books. I'll have to go and check, but I'm pretty sure I haven't, but maybe I have. I've read so many cozies, guys. I can't keep them all on track. But yes, guys, I'm in a mood, so I pre-apologize for all of this. The next book I have, it's very witchy indeed. It's called Cackle by Rachel Harrison. Look at this cover. Oh, it's stunning. It says, a darkly funny, frightening novel about a young woman meeting a witch who might be too good to be true. All her life, Annie has played it nice and safe. After being unceremoniously dumped by her longtime boyfriend, she seeks a fresh start. Annie accepts a new teaching position and moves from Manhattan to a small village upstate. She is stunned by how perfect and picturesque this town is. The people are all friendly and warm. Her new apartment is dreamy too, aside from the oddly persistent spider infestation. Ooh. Then Anne meets Sophie, beautiful, charming, magnetic Sophie, who takes a special interest in Annie and wants to be her friend. More importantly, she wants Annie to stop apologizing and start living for herself. That's how she lives. Annie can't help but gravitate toward the self-possessed Sophie and begins to spend more and more time with her, despite the fact that the rest of the townsfolk seem a little afraid of her. And like, okay, there are some things. Sophie's appearance is uncanny and ageless. Her mansion is in the middle of the woods. It feels a bit unearthly, and she does seem to wield a certain power. But she couldn't be. Could she? Just like, come on. Like, why not? Another witchy kind of book that I have not read is Practical Magic. You guys should be shocked, because Practical Magic is my favorite movie of all time. Like, hands down, absolute favorite movie. But I read this when I was, albeit young, like 16, 17 years old. And I did not like it. Because it is so vastly different from the movie. But I don't really remember it. Like, I'm 33, so that was almost 20 years ago when I read it for the first time. So I'm gonna reread it because I loved, where is it? I loved Magic Lessons. So I'm gonna reread this and hopefully, you know, fall in love with it. But we shall see. And then last but certainly not least is one that I have had on my TBR, and I have started reading it. I think I'm like 38 pages into it, and that is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I wanted this to be my the pick for the horror theme for this was my pick for it, but we ended up voting for Bloodlight. And so I still really want to read this because I need to be a little scared, a little spooked, little goose pimply bumpily, you know what I mean? But yes, I am in a mood, guys. I'm so sorry. You know what? No, I'm not apologizing for myself. Oh goodness. But that's the end of this chapter of Courtagonist. Do you guys do a seasonal TBR or a monthly TBR? Let me know. What are your plans to read during the Burr months? Or are you a mood reader? Like, I don't know. I just want to chat in the comments. But that's the end of this chapter of Courtagonist. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, happy reading. Bye.